Joining me now, Wisconsin Democratic Senator Tammy Baldwin. We appreciate you coming on the show. How do you expect, very specifically, these tariffs to impact your state's economy?
Well, it is going to be crushing. We are a state that grows things and makes things, and obviously everyone has to go to the grocery store. And we've seen this before. In Trump's first presidency, he sparked a trade war. I talked to farmers who are still digging out from the tragedy that was, and now they're looking at it again. Input prices are going to go up for our dairy farmers who get their fertilizer and other inputs from Canada. And our export markets are going to be constrained significantly. I've talked to a lot of farmers who don't know whether they can survive this trade war.
I mean, literally, they don't know if they're going to be able to keep farming?
Absolutely. I talked to a farmer named Linda. She was recalling for me what happened to their family farm during the last Trump trade war. She said they went from having a business with positive margins to being in poverty. She doesn't know if they can last through another one, whether they'll go bankrupt or have to sell the farm. She's very, very concerned about what this means. But I'm hearing from our manufacturers also. We have manufacturers in Wisconsin who get components or raw materials from Canada or Mexico or elsewhere and know that there's going to be tariffs placed on those. Their cost of production is going to go up. Their margins are going to go down. And consumers remind me every day that Donald Trump's promised to lower prices on day one of his presidency, and instead what they're seeing in day 75 is that he is enacting policies that are going to make prices go up for them, and many live paycheck to paycheck. This is really a self-inflicted wound, and it's going to do real harm on Wisconsinites.
Well, Republican Senator Chuck Grassley and Democratic Senator Maria Cantwell introduced that bipartisan bill that would require congressional approval for new tariffs. It won't get through the House. What can, if anything, Democrats do right now?
Look, I think there's a lot of things. First of all, you saw the Senate take a vote earlier this week disapproving of the tariffs on Canada. Sadly, I don't think that the Republicans in the House of Representatives are going to take up the same measure, but we do have to have a congressional response to these tariffs. But the people can also speak up. And, you know, earlier this week, my colleague Cory Booker took to the floor and spoke for 25 hours. But one of the themes he brought back again and again is that the power of the people is stronger than the people in power. And I am hearing from so many thousands of Wisconsinites. They went to the polls on Tuesday this week in record numbers. We've never seen so many express and have their voices and their votes heard. And in every single county, we saw Wisconsinites move away from the Republican Party. And in half of our counties, they did so by double digits. So we see the power of the people right all around us in the state of Wisconsin right now.
So let me ask you about the people, because I think you probably heard me saying that good senator from Virginia says his constituents are freaking out. We just interviewed somebody outside of Macy's in Midtown Manhattan whose businessman said, I was going to buy a car. Now I'm just going to, wait. Story after story after story. What are your constituents telling you, and what's it like in your office for your staff?
Yeah. You know, on a typical day in, say, last year, I would get between 50 and 100 calls a day from people throughout the state. We're getting well over 1,000 every single day, and sometimes several thousand calls a day. And these are speaking out against all sorts of policies that we're seeing from the Trump administration. But the tariffs, I can tell you, for so many, they're saying, I already struggle to pay the grocery bill every week to get food on the table. I already struggle with exceedingly low margins in our small business. This is going to be existential for whether we are going to be able to keep our business going, keep our farm running, or not. And they are speaking out in record numbers.
Senator Tammy Baldwin, on a very busy day in Washington and elsewhere, for that matter, certainly on Wall Street. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.